Hi, welcome back to my studio. This week's challenge is to use only 2 geometric shapes and 3 organic shapes to create a work of art. So what I want you to really do is, after you select your shapes that you want to use or create them, we have a visitor. Harlow stepped in. Oh, she's hiding. My dog. Look. That's where she sits almost every day when I work. So now you know. Every time I'm writing to you, she's right there with me. Okay, back on track. We're going to use 2 geometric shapes and 3 organic shapes to create a work of art. So choose your shapes, but then I want you to really play with the idea of how you can repeat those shapes, play with the size, the placement to create your work of art. So for mine, I've just looked around, saw what I had. I had some scrap papers, I just saved stuff for me and for my son to make art with. So I used that. I'm going to do like a collage. I have glue, scissors, and the paper. So I've already created my shapes. I cut out different circles. I did that by tracing them, but I have different colors and different sizes. So I'm only allowed to use 2 geometric shapes, but that means I'm only allowed to use a circle, and I chose square. But that does not mean I can't use more than one of the type of shape I chose. So I want you to really think about that and play with how you can change the shapes that you chose and arrange them to create your work of art. So what I've done, and you might not use them all, I just made extra so I have lots to choose from. I took this square and I was playing with how I can play with shape. So by cutting it and folding, I was able to manipulate that to create something more three-dimensional if you want to build something. So I really want you to think about how you can do this. When I was looking and playing and creating with my shapes, I started to think about the weather and how odd it's been. And I was thinking about making one that represented that. So here is my work. Hope you can see the whole thing. I created these cloud shapes, this irregular line, these, I guess you could call them teardrop or raindrop shapes. These are my organic shapes, and then like I said, I have my circles and squares for geometric. So first, I was thinking about how I could play with the square as my foundation. I was going to create, I've already kind of messed around with this a little bit, so it might take you longer to arrange and figure out what you want to do. Remember, you don't even have to do a collage. I want you to use whatever you have and however this inspires you. The intention is not for you to copy what I do, but for you to be creative and make something all on your own. So here is my little mountain. I'm making a little landscape with it. My mountainscape is putting the clouds in the sky. I'm going to overlap some of them. Here's my other one. And I want to use this blue sun. So what I'm doing is because it inspired me because all the things that have been going on right now have been very strange, right? And that's called being surreal, when something is like real life or looks realistic, but it isn't. It's very dreamlike. And I feel like that's kind of like what this whole experience has been of teaching from home and snowing when it should be warm out, and it snowed on my birthday. Can you believe that? And then it snowed just last night. Okay. So I had the sunshine and the clouds, but I'm doing overlapping, I'm repeating, I'm playing with size placement, and then I want these big giant raindrops falling down onto my landscape. And I might add more detail later. I'm not sure. I can go back in with a pen or pencil and draw on it if I want to. But for now, and I'm going to flip this over so you can see it from this point of view, what I'm doing is laying out what I'm going to do for my collage, and then I'll start to glue everything down and put it in its place. So when I say you can only use 3 organic and 2 geometric shapes, I hope you realize by my example here that I don't mean you can only use 5 shapes total. You can repeat those shapes as many as you want, but the challenge is to limit your choices. So remember, use what you have. Come up with your own idea. However it inspires you, that is the right answer. So you never have to ask me, is it okay if I do this? Because I will say yes, because it's supposed to be you are the artist and your ideas are correct. Okay, have fun and enjoy this challenge. I can't wait to see what you made.